Welcome back, my fellow bloodthirsters of Khorne. This is Spruce and Studs, and we are going to be continuing with more Khornate content. So in this review video, we are going to be reviewing Khorne Berzerker 1 and Khorne Berzerker 4. So let's see if JoyToy has paid proper homage to the Blood God with these two action figures. Continuing on with the Festival of Khorne, we have this Berzerker number 1, which obviously has a modified chainsword and bolt pistol. I love the helmets of these action figures because the unique flanges on the side give them so much character. I also wanted to point out the wings are actually quite flexible here. The gold outlining and the black of the pipes are a really great contrast to the blood red of the armor. The metallic green eyes also are absolutely fantastic as well by making the eyes really pop out from the helmet. Just like the Eviscerator Berzerkers, this left pauldron sports a World Eater's chapter symbol. However, unlike the Eviscerator Marines, the right one is a full pauldron that sports a very large Khornate icon that really jumps out against the red. The arms are clearly covered up with black leather gloves, but I wanted to point out an interesting thing with this right elbow in that you can see, I guess, flesh here, or maybe they forgot to paint it black. But on the other side, the glove covers this area up. So I'm not exactly too sure why this asymmetry is there. And another thing I do want to point out too is that we are on this flappy pauldron syndrome as well. Now this chest section has some bandoliers on them where the top are gunmetal and the lower ones are solid black. It's interesting that with these straps you could probably mistake them for a loyalist firstborn marine with a jump pack. Anyway, this torso section does not deviate from the ones that we've seen before on the Eviscerator Marines in that there's a lot of texture in the front as well as in the back. Moving down to this waist area, this Berzerker is boasting his devotion to Khorne with a belt buckle that sports a Khorne symbol in the front. However, I think that the tabard section is completely fantastic with the usage of these tattered rags that stands out in front of the chainmail. I think that the texture that is used here really conveys an awesome look of the rings. On the back there is a weathered frag grenade that has a massive amounts of chain that is dangling off of it. Then at the end of these chains you get to see almost like a butcher's hook Khornate symbol as well as a skull, which is fantastic for character development. However, I do find that this peg area is much too thin, and I wonder if this peg will break off if you're a little bit too harsh with operating this action figure. The leg area also has a plethora of designs with more golden outlining at the top of the thigh area, complete with this gray band here that I still don't know what it does. The left knee is really badass with a small World Eater symbol on it. Then finally there are metallic studs at the bottom of the feet that are not found on any Loyalist Marine. So at the back there's really nothing to see here except this highly detailed backpack with a bunch of chaos flavor in the form of spikes up top here. Weapons wise, we obviously have a bolt pistol and a modified chainsword. Starting off with this bolt pistol. This pistol has nice weathering in the gunmetal areas and obviously is boasting a very large golden Khornate symbol. This pistol has a slight flavor of Khorne on it with this spike and kind of very archaic looking bolt rounds right here. However, just like the Eviscerator Marines, I think that this area needs more metal, more edge to it. And also these bolt rounds cannot be removed from this magazine area. Now this chainsword looks properly feral and edgy with the very jagged chainsword teeth and equally sharp spikes on the handle. I really like the balance of color with the black for the backbone of the sword, the silver of the teeth. This chainsword looks completely fantastic compared to the rather bland looking Loyalist chainswords. Blood for the Blood God! Now let's move on to Berzerker number 4 with this chainaxe and plasma pistol. I think out of all the helmets that I have reviewed, which is about 3 now, this one is definitely my favorite, in that this area is a pure homage to Khorne with the spikes on top, which by the way will not stab you because this area is made of actually a very soft plastic. There is no mistaking that this Marine loves his patron Chaos God with the symbol of Khorne up top, and it's also present in the back as well. The addition of the jagged white teeth makes this Marine more metal than his brother. In the pauldron area, there's no difference in the left one. However, there is a slight difference in the right one in that there is yet another blood god symbol, but it does not take up the whole entire area of the shoulder pad. And this is the side-by-side comparison with his other brother. Forearm-wise, there's a nice symmetry in that they are covered up with power armor, as displayed with this skull icon here. Moving to the breastplate. This blood god devotee is also rocking a bandolier, but at the center there is a golden skull. Surrounding the waist is a plain leather belt that is quite unremarkable, but where the decoration is at is the tabard over here. The tabard is comprised of leather straps that actually have some texture on them, which is really nice to see. Then behind that area is more chainmail, but if you flip this area up, you will notice that there is no chainmail links. Otherwise, this section is pretty much the same as his brother. So interesting enough, the leg area, this Marine is exactly the same as the one that wields the Eviscerator chainaxe in my other review. So I won't go into too much detail here, but I will point out that I still think this skull in the left knee area with the gigantic gaping maw provides excellent character for this action figure. Now, backpack wise, the general look of this is the same except with some subtle differences. This one that I'm reviewing right now clearly sports more spikes, with these two being gold, and there's an extra one here. And there's a lot more spikes in the middle of the backpack. Also, this vent area is a black color. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be correct in that they may have forgotten to dry brush this, the gunmetal color, but I kind of like this contrast here. Eagle-eye viewers will notice that JoyToy forgot to paint the black pipes on this backpack and left it a plain base coat of red. Looking at the plasma pistol, it is a bit disappointing to see that the plasma coils are back to a flat blue color. JoyToy at one point in time did make this area a metallic blue, which is more far accurate representation of these coils are supposed to look like. However, I think that this pistol looks more chaosified with the addition of the golden fangs up here, as well as the Khorne symbol on the casing of the weapon. Just like with the Chainsword, this chainaxe boasts perfect color balance. I like how the gunmetal ragged teeth of the axe stand in contrast to the gold outlining of the axe head. The white of the fangs really makes this axe look like it could be a sentient being ready to swallow, well, worlds or blood. I also like the Khorne icon that is located on the shaft of the axe, and then the cloth grips give the axe a more worn-in, edgy type of look. So I would like to report to you that both of these Marines do not have any inhibitions of motion, so full motion about the head, the arms, as well as the legs. I'm not going to bother showing you all of this. Now, many of you have been wondering how this Khorne Berzerker scales up to other Marines, so I will oblige you and show you. Man, I haven't busted out this version 1 Black Legion Marine in a long time, and you can clearly tell that this guy is shorter than this Khorne Berzerker here. And off to my right hand side is the V3 Blood Angels Intercessor that usually stands behind me when I record, and I will have to say that this action figure clearly is shorter than his chaosified cousin. Now, many of you have been asking, comparison to Titus. Well, Titus has been in the spotlight for a little bit too much, so I will now bring out Sergeant Gadriel here. You will notice that Gadriel stands taller than this Chaos Marine over here if you are looking at the eye level. All right, Blood God fans, let me know what you thought of these action figures in the comments section below, and I will let you know now what I think about these things. Many of you have lamented that these Khorne Berzerkers look much too clean, and I will 100% agree with you. I really wish that they put some more dings, scrapes, and just more grime on this armor. So I think that is a pretty big miss in my opinion, that JoyToy makes their action figures a little bit too clean. Aside from that, these are very accurate representations of Khorne Berzerkers. I really like the skulls, the chains, the homage to the Blood God. Now, do I recommend these action figures? Obviously, if you love the Blood God, yeah, these things are solid action figures. But if you had to choose between these two versus the Eviscerator Chainaxe as well as the Eviscerator Chainsword Berzerkers, I would go for the Eviscerators just because I think those action figures are way more edgy. But if you are compelled to get these action figures, click on the link in the description below, or you will be brought to David Toys. David Toys is a fantastic distributor of these action figures. In fact, that's where I get all of them from, and I have nothing but great things to say just because their customer service is fantastic, and you also get free shipping to the United States or just elsewhere in the world too. And before you check out, do not forget to use the code SNS to receive 12% off of your purchase. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this action figure review video. I appreciate you all, members of the chapter, as well as new subscribers. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one. Blood for the Blood God!